Well, here we are back with that BSA Starfire again that we've already had a ride on, and since the last outing I fitted the proper 10:1 compression ratio Starfire piston. It had an 8:1 Fleetstar piston in it. No other changes have been made, although I have decoked the head and cleaned up the valves and ground them in, but all the timing, carburetor settings, everything else are all the same as they were before. So let's go and see whether an extra 2:1 on the compression has woken it up in any way, because it was pretty lame before and rather disappointing. Hopefully it'll be a little bit more handy now. We'll take another run around the usual route and see how we get on with it. It seemed to rev quite well before, just didn't pull very well while doing it. Took a long time to build up speed, too long. Really felt very underpowered, to the point where I've even ridden C15s that have felt more lively. So hopefully we might find an improvement. Well, it's better, although not by the margin I was hoping for. I'm going to mark the ignition timing where it is now because I'm certain it's where it should be, and then I'm going to back it off a little because I did have it running later than this on what turned out to be C15 and Fleetstar timing, but I advanced it up to what I found and think ought to be the suitable timing for this before the high compression piston went in, but it just hasn't got the punch from low revs that I would expect, even with the you know, high compression piston especially. You should feel, I can feel the firing pulses and the kick in the pants a bit more than there was before, but it's still, it was gutless going up that hill when we turned off the main road out the village. It should have much more get up and go. It should have managed third gear up there, no problem at all, not wringing its neck in second and then just catching third and staggering along. It's notably quicker than it was, but it's not as quick as it should be yet, not by a long way, so I think there's more to do there. I'm even beginning to suspect the valve timing, but I'll back the ignition timing off first, give it a try like that and see what we got. Right, I'm going to follow up that last ride on this BSA Starfire with another shorter one. And all I've done since the last ride, hopefully the camera will pick it up, I backed off the ignition timing just a little bit, but I've marked it. Hopefully we're looking at those marks and we should be able to see how much I've moved it back by, and I can put it back where it allegedly ought to be if this doesn't work. But I just retarded it a bit because it just wasn't pulling right up that hill towards the next village. So I'm only going to go up, I'm not quite going to go to the next village, I'm going to go all the way up that hill through the trees and turn around on the green at the top and come back down, and I'll know what I need to know by then. But I think when we turn off the main road and go up the hill through the trees, we should really be able to manage third gear on this rather than wring its neck in second. That's not really good enough at all. It should manage third gear up there without any trouble, I would have thought. I mean, any one of my Triumph Tiger Cubs would outperform this at the moment, and I'm not knocking them, but this should be, I think, a lot quicker than it is. I've ridden a few of these things over the years, and this one is notably slower than any of the others that I've ridden. As I mentioned before, I think I've even ridden a few C15s that have been faster than this, and something's not right. If this doesn't sort it, I think it may well be valve timing, but let's go and see if it pulls any better.
We'll go right round anyway.
that's the tick over gone anyway. It might have been very, very slightly better on the hills. It feels a little more willing on the initial bit of throttle opening when you pull away in first and change up to second and open the throttle again. It definitely feels more willing than it did, but still feels like it's lacking quite a bit to me. I know it's only a 250 and it's a relatively old one, but they didn't hang about these things, and I'm sure that I know I've got a new piston in it and rings, but the bore and everything else, well, I don't know what their history is, but I'd certainly not describe the engine as tight, and it just about reluctantly hit an indicated 60 coming back along the straights there. It was marginally better going up the hill towards the next village, but still had to drop down to second and rev it, and it should really virtually storm up there in third gear, I would have said. It's a lot better than it was when I first had it running, I've got to say. Perhaps it's time to go over to the owner and see what he thinks and what he may want to do, but I'm starting to wonder about valve timing, possibly, or maybe it is just the way it is. But somehow I expected a little bit more, but it's running nicely. I'll say it is running nicely, but it's not quite as lively as I would have hoped, unfortunately.